Good morning, everybody. It's women's quarterfinals day here at Wimbledon, and the coffee morning presented by Lavazza is back. Although you may have not noticed, eagle-eyed viewers, we've had a slight change of scenery, haven't we, Rachel? Because it's not very nice out there today.
No, it's a bit rainy, isn't it? So we've ditched the broadcast roof and we've come in here to centre court.
Not a bad plan B, though, eh?
I'm going to say we're pretty lucky to have the rain on us. Not so much for the players, but quick nod to yesterday. It was the last ever Manic Monday here at the All England Club, because Wimbledon, like the other Grand Slams, are going to get rid of the rest day on a Sunday and just go all the way through for 14 days of action. I'm not best pleased about that, but I think the players will be. It just means we don't get a rest day, Danny, doesn't it?
And it does mean that we can catch more of the matches, because there was so much going on yesterday. It was difficult to keep up, quite frankly. So luckily we're here for half an hour to keep you up to date with what exactly happened.
Yeah, should we start on the final match of yesterday as well, in the ladies' draw, because it wasn't quite to be, was it, for the Brit Emma Raducanu, who's been making headlines for all the right reasons, but luck wasn't really on her side yesterday, and we still don't have confirmation of exactly what happened in that match, do we, Danny?
No, so it was a really, really good first set, but then she seemed like she was struggling a little bit, had to call for the trainer and retired with what was described as breathing difficulties. We wish her very well indeed, hope that she recovers fully and quickly, but that does mean that Alya Tomljanovic, get my teeth back in this morning, she is through to the quarterfinals, where she's going to play
Ash Barty.
An all-Australian quarter-final. When was the last time we saw one of those?
It was 1980. I think it was actually
1980.
both before our time, so we had to
Just
have
a
little bit of a look in the history books to find that fact. But that's pretty exciting for an Australian fan, of course. Does mean one of the Aussies will be coming home. But
it does mean one of them is guaranteed to be in the semi-final.
Positives. Danny's saying the positives. I'm going with the negative front today, which I think is super exciting. Ash Barty, of course, is the #1 seed here. First time she's ever got into the quarterfinal as well. So she's making a bit of history on her side. And Alya Tomljanovic, I think, will just be super excited to have got here, possibly not having to play a super difficult match yesterday, but then on the contrary, she hasn't had so much time to recover either.
Yeah, she was only on court, I think, just before 8 p.m. last night, so hopefully nice early night last night once she got back to the hotel. The one thing I'm most interested today, of course, her boyfriend is Matteo Berrettini, who is also through. We'll talk about him a little bit later on. It's an off day for him today because the men's quarterfinals aren't until tomorrow. Is he going to be in the players' box watching Alya play? Because yesterday he was getting into it. My goodness, he was very animated. He needs to conserve that energy, Matteo. I
was going to answer your question, say I don't think it will be an off day for that reason. The fact that his partner is playing, so I'm sure he'll be down here feeling the nerves and kind of going through the motions with Alya.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to that. He was almost expending more energy than she did on court.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we move on then to the next matchups that we have? So we've got Ons Jabeur, of course, taking on Sabalenka, which I think
I'm excited for this.
Will be a great matchup, won't it? Obviously, Ons has been making history throughout the tournament so far, into the quarterfinal again as well. And Sabalenka has never got this far in the competition. So again, it's kind of unknown territory for a couple of these players, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Aryna Sabalenka was saying how much she was delighted to have finally broken that glass ceiling. She was the only player in the women's top 20 yet to make a quarterfinal of a Grand Slam. And talking about glass ceilings, Ons Jabeur, if she wins and makes the semi-final, she will be the first Arab player to make a Grand Slam semi-final ever in the Open era.
And a word
phenomenal
on Ons as well. She said in her press conference that she got congratulated by the one and only Roger Federer after her match, which absolutely made her day, she went on to say.
I'm not surprised. I mean, there's plenty. All four of the quarterfinals are really intriguing. You've got Karolina Muchova against Angelique Kerber as well. Kerber is the only person left in the draw with experience of winning Wimbledon, and she's the only one over 30, which makes me feel quite good about my chances.
Yeah, but then Muchova, it said that she really steps up at the big events as well, and she's been in the quarterfinal here twice before at Wimbledon, so she's got experience at this stage in the competition, and she's also been in the semi-finals of the Australian Open only this year. So again, stepping up when it really matters. So it's going to be the one to watch for me because a former Wimbledon champion, but we'll have to see how that one goes.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, 2 years ago, what did Simona Halep do? She beat Coco Gauff and ended up winning it. So you never know, maybe the same thing happens for Angelique Kerber as well.
Exactly. Then we obviously have one final matchup as well. Karolina Pliskova taking on Golubic, which I think is also going to be great because Pliskova is just on fire. 32 aces so far this fortnight at the championship. So she's got a pretty big game, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's incredibly powerful if you've not seen her play before. Very quick serve, as you said. Both of these may be a bit of a surprise to be this far in, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of people glued to the TV sets watching this one. Good for them too, they've made it to the quarterfinals, and one of them is going to be in the semis.
Absolutely, but we kind of said it's obviously been raining quite a lot over the last 7 or 8 days. So one of the matchups on the men's side actually didn't get completed, which does mean there's still a space up for grabs coming into today into the quarterfinal. It's against Hurkacz and Medvedev. One of those will play Roger Federer, and this is what he said after his matchup yesterday.
It's how it goes. You know, I've been in those situations many times before. These guys are young, they can recover. It's not a problem for them.
Yeah, you don't sound too happy about it.
Unfortunately, they're very, very good too. So hopefully it rains again tomorrow.
And Roger...
I'm kidding.
Roger Federer always has fun, doesn't he, on his on-court interviews?
You know what I think that means? I think it means if Federer was in the young boy's shoes, he would be worried that he had to play back-to-back matches. Just saying, maybe Roger Federer thinks he is getting a little bit old.
I wish he hadn't said that he hopes it rains, even if he was joking, because he got his wish. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing how that one ends up. It's poised really nicely. Both of those two players, up and coming, quite young, good fun to watch. Should be a good watch if you're watching on Centre today.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Hurkacz would be the upset, wouldn't he? Taking out Medvedev. We'll have to wait and see how that one goes and see who is the last gentleman to make it through to the quarterfinals. The men's, of course, will be happening tomorrow as well. Very excited for that.
We'll give you a full preview of that, of course, tomorrow on the show. Roger Federer, 18 times now he's made it into the quarterfinals here at Wimbledon, breaking, his own record from 2 years ago. Are there any records left for him to break that he doesn't already hold?
Is there any stopping this guy? Not at the moment.
Well,
I think
maybe.
He decides, doesn't he, when he stops, when
This is true.
when his time is up. I'm just excited to see how far he can go this year in the competition, because fortunately for him, he doesn't get to meet Djokovic potentially until that final on this weekend, of course.
That would be extraordinary if they did. We were here 2 years ago when that final happened. It was an incredible tennis match. Djokovic, though, he played Christian Garin yesterday.
Pretty easy.
Although
Out here, of course.
there was in the second set, he looked like he was struggling a little bit. He was getting a bit irritable. He was looking up at Goran Ivanisevic in his coach's box and complaining and giving him a big stare down and things. But straight sets, job done, move on. That's what champions do. Yeah,
Garin, he said he hadn't played one of the big three before obviously meeting Djokovic out there as well. He said he's up for a big challenge. It was a big challenge. Obviously he didn't overcome that challenge, but it might put him in great stead for next time those two face off against each other.
Yeah.
Talking about stats, you just mentioned Roger Federer. Djokovic got a big stat next to his name yesterday as well, didn't he? 50 times at a Grand Slam into a quarter-final now. I mean, numbers like that, when they're getting thrown out, they're just exceptional. You really can say they are a big three in terms of Rafa Nadal, of course, Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer.
Yeah.
Who can break their dominance, though? That's the question here at Wimbledon this time out.
I wonder if one of those could be Martin Fucsovics, who, in a big surprise, big upset, he ended up beating Andrei Rublev, who was the 5th seed here. Fucsovics is a former junior champion. You can see his name on the junior board. Look up the pictures of him winning the title a few years ago.
Does he look very different?
He looks very different indeed. Very different indeed.
But they've played each other, unlucky I'm going to say, 6 times now in 2021. And that's even more kind of, I guess, a bit different. The fact that there haven't particularly been that many matches because obviously we're in a pandemic year. And 4 times since March they've played each other as well. And Rublev, on 3 of those occasions, always got the better of Fucsovics, but Fucsovics finally, at a Grand Slam, made it go his way and got that W next to his name.
And it's funny, back in, I think it was March, they played in Dubai.
And I like this story.
Andrei Rublev ended up winning, but then when they got together at the net post-match, one of the cameras caught Martin Fucsovics saying, "I hope I don't play you again this year." And they did.
Keeps happening.
And, well, you know, maybe he's happy because they end up winning and he's into the quarter-final.
Absolutely. Let's talk about a couple of the youngsters as well. Felix Auger-Aliassime, the young Canadian, 20 years of age, actually. I mean, I don't think we possibly thought he was going to go through. Went through, didn't he, over Zverev in the end. And it was an epic match, that one,
Oh,
as well,
extraordinary.
wasn't it?
I think
Brilliant.
it's the first time he's won in 5 sets as well, Auger-Aliassime. He really looked the business, didn't he?
You know, I'm going to say he possibly wanted it more because he did experience that bit of a walkover with Nick Kyrgios, and he was a little bit upset with that. He kind of said, that's not how I wanted to go through. So maybe he thought he needed to really prove himself at this stage in the competition, and he did just that. But let's go on to court 18. What happened just behind us? Because on the broadcast roof, we actually overlook court 18. There was a pretty phenomenal matchup going on there. Almost 4 hours in duration in the end, Danny.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. I said that basically if you want to find me, I'm just going to turn around and watch that match all day. And I very much did. It's Karen Khachanov against Seb Korda, who've been talking about all week, the sporting family, son of Petu, who won the Australian Open, sister of the world's #1 golfer.
Jessica
as
and
well.
Nelly. Yeah.
And my goodness, it was a 5-set epic. There was in the 5th set, it finished 10-8 to Khachanov. I don't think anybody held serve for about 45 minutes. I think there were 7 consecutive breaks of serve. It was amazing. It looked like maybe he was struggling a little bit physically towards the end, Seb Korda. It was 21 yesterday. I'm sure he enjoyed his time if he could get out the ice bath in time on last night.
Well, Laura Robson said that Wimbledon in the bubble, they give them Thornton's chocolate cakes for their birthday present. So I'm sure that kind of added a slight happiness to the end of his day after going out in, of course, his debut here at Wimbledon as well.
Yeah, extraordinary debut. It will not be the last we see of him around these parts, I can guarantee you that. But he goes, Karen Khachanov goes through and plays Denis Shapovalov. So good day for Canada, 2 of their players through.
Yeah, and a young kind of matchup again. Lots of youngsters actually going through on the gentlemen's side of the draw. But as we mentioned, so much happened yesterday, of course, because it was Manic Monday. So should we have a look at possibly quite a lot of shots from yesterday?
His shots of the day.
Oh my word, did she really do that? That was a mesmerising drop volley at full stretch under breakpoint pressure. Quite special.
Oh, great pass from the Russian.
15-all.
Sumptuous forehand winner from way behind his baseline from Korda.
15-all.
Exactly right. Stunning winner.
That is a sensational shot. The type of shot that only Ash Barty can play. Hand skills from heaven.
Yeah, but how quick thinking was Ash Barty here?
From Fucsovics, raises that right fist in the direction of his connections. What an incredible get, and then the skill and control to execute it at full stretch while applying the brakes to avoid the collision with the net.
3-0, final set.
Well, I'm seeing it all now. That was phenomenal.
Is trying these drop shots. Sometimes they work, sometimes they are misguided. But a wonderful angle from Auger-Aliassime.
What a dive here. Yes. Brings back memories.
Wasn't too far away.
Just stunning.
was real. Look at the faces. That's how good it was.
Really good sign that Goff has a combination of power and the finesse.
Well played. Oh, well played. He was dead and buried, and he's produced an absolute screaming, scorching forehand. Oh, don't be silly. That's... Just look at that. Speed of the arm, the wrist, and the execution is perfect.
Well, with 16 matches going on yesterday, the boys and girls starting the championship as well, and the doubles in force. I'd probably forgive you if you missed a few things.
But luckily we have a team of people covering every single corner of SW19 to put together this little feature we like to call Things You May Have Missed.
Nice. Wow, topical at this time of year with the Euros. First touch, look at this. Straight over to the ball
Very
goal.
good.
Took it like a man.
Got to the ball, but he couldn't stop before he collided with the net.
If he had managed to avoid the touch of the net, that would have been an amazing bit of balance.
15 all.
Not a poor line judge.
Living dangerously.
He's going to take a bombardment. Come on, flying down here into the centre court. It's a pigeon camera. It's a well-trained pigeon. Holds the camera. Hey, we've got it live. Well done. Tell you what, if you hang around in the crowd long enough on court number 1 during this match, chances are you're going to get an opportunity to catch a loose tennis ball. Slow-mo for you.
Good catch.
Well, she's milking it.
Thank you.
Plenty of fun stuff in there, but there was one clip that we wanted to keep back because it featured our very own Rachel Stringer.
I think I may have gone viral yesterday for possibly the wrong reasons. Basically, never work with children. Take a look at this. To get to the 4th round, here we are.
Here
actually
he
having a
comes.
little child.
Hey, dude.
Hiya, mate.
You got the ball. Yeah, you take the ball. You enjoy yourself, mate. He's off.
But he's actually more concerned with the football than he is with tennis. But we move on. There we go. Passing through. Football or tennis. Seb Corder. Football is coming home. Yeah, the ball's gone. Happy with making the 4th round, though?
I think he can be, yeah, and especially because this has been his breakout.
He's got to sign this lad up for England.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, high five.
Racket now. Sorry, Laura.
Yeah, that's a big racket. He's off. What's your name, mister? He doesn't know, but he knows his sport. He's
oh, see ya.
He's 2 in 2 days.
Oh, and the ball. Yeah, interesting, wasn't it? Well, Danny, you had a more sedate afternoon, didn't you?
Just slightly.
Going around the Wimbledon Museum. I'm pretty sure children have to behave in there, don't they?
Yeah, there's so much to see and do in there that we tracked down the head of the heritage team, Adam Chadwick, to give us a guided tour. One of the many attractions at Wimbledon outside of the tennis is the magnificent Wimbledon Museum, and Adam Chadwick is the head of the heritage team. He's going to give us a bit of a tour of some of the finest exhibits you can find, starting with this very impressive trophy here.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my favourites. It speaks to me about the first idea of the All England Club. The founder member, one of the founder members of the club, was also the editor of something called the Field magazine. And he and others were actually in the Field magazine offices and dreamt up the idea of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club. They also sponsored the first trophy, and this is it. The reason it's no longer the trophy now is because a guy called William Renshaw, who was the Roger Federer or Novak of his day, won it 3 times, and the rule at the time was if you won it 3 times you could take it home with you. So he kept it, and actually we only got it back recently through purchasing it from a private family.
Extraordinary stuff. As much as this is the Wimbledon Museum, a tennis museum, it's not just sporting artefacts you can find in here either, is it?
No, this
Such
is
as this.
Fantastic. It's a bit of a showstopper. We acquired it recently from a dealer in Paris. Originally it had stood in a department store in Brussels, so we don't know the sculptor, but actually it's a real stylish piece. It's fantastic to have it this year because what we've been doing is taking more and more of the displays outside the museum and spreading them around the ground. We've done some things in the player hotel this year which have been tremendous. So maybe, although it's here at the moment, it may find a home outside around the ground somewhere.
Oh, with the expansion, of course, there might be a lot more space to exhibit some of this
We
stuff.
hope so. We hope there will be more space. There's certainly a decent amount at the moment, and we look forward to sculpture particularly being an important part of that.
So how do you feel when you get listening?
So we were absolutely delighted with the kind of collaborative nature of this display. So we had a photographic artist, Claire Newton, the players have made contributions, and of course we've got this magnificent wheelchair which the company who manufacture it have donated to the museum.
And of course we'll end the tour where we began, the magnificent trophy gallery.
Yeah, they really are the stars of the show, aren't they? Our heritage team's responsible for distributing over 50 trophies and medals through the championships, but these are the ones that everybody knows and everybody wants to see. They are really the highlight for our year-round visitors when they come to the museum.
Just one last question though before we go, Adam. Why is there a pineapple on top of the men's trophy?
Always the question people ask. We don't know the answer. Kind of suits the Wimbledon floral theme though, doesn't it?
It really does. These are superb. Adam, thank you so much for your time. If you are here, make sure you come down to the museum. It's really, really great. Enjoy the rest of the championships.
Thank you very much.
Well, if it rains today, then I'm sure the championships are going to be pretty popular indeed, because it's free for the first time this championship for ticket holders.
And if you are coming down, cast your eyes to the skies and you may see a Wimbledon VIP doing its thing on the Wimbledon show courts.
I think we just saw him fly past, Danny.
I'm Donna Davis, and this is Pollux, the male Harris hawk, and we are here to deter the pigeons for interrupting play at Wimbledon. We have been involved in Wimbledon for 22 years now, so it was in 1999 that I was watching the Pete Sampras match at home and on the edge of a seat when pigeons came down and they were literally having to bat them off the baseline. I just thought, oh my gosh, maybe we can channel both our passions and you know, really the rest is history. So we arrive 5 a.m. and we weigh our birds. They've got to be at their optimum flying weight, which for Pollux it's £1.7 at the moment. So he's really great and attentive and responsive. And when we call him back or give him a signal, and he comes back to us for food, because it's all food motivated and the reason why they do come back to us. Other than that, he would go off hunting. We have 5 Harris hawks. Rufus, who everybody knows Rufus, and he is now breeding. So he's in his love nest with Pamela, and hopefully we'll have a few offsprings in the autumn. 16 weeks old is when we first begin the first stages of training. Once they begin to know you, you gradually encourage him to jump to the fist, and then he'll be on a long creance, and he will hopefully fly on that creance. So you increase the distance each time, and then he comes to you for food. For them to actually become to know you, to trust you, because that's what it's about. You know, they've got to trust you, they've got to kind of really enjoy being around you. In order to do that, that takes months, and I would even go as far to say years. each and every day when I fly a bird and that bird comes back to me, I feel very special. And equally, you get to come to these amazing places, and you know that you would only ever dream of kind of watching tennis here, but to also work here too, well, you know, I've kind of made it.
Well, Danny just mentioned him, and actually, if you were paying attention, you may have seen him flying around here earlier on in the show, because the Hawk is out in force at the moment. But Danny, I'm going to do a little quiz for you right now.
Oh no.
If I said Barty, 2011, Shapovalov, 2016, Fukovic, 2010, Federer, 98, where am I going?
They're all junior Wimbledon champions, and they're all in the quarterfinals.
Correct.
Yeah, we mentioned that because you mentioned earlier the juniors started yesterday. It's going to go all through this week. The boys and girls singles, very much worth looking for if you are coming down. It's on most of the outside courts pretty much all week, and you may see some very famous surnames that you might mention, that you might recognise. Yesterday, one Leo Borg won. That is the son of former champion around here, Bjorn Borg. If you are watching, I'm sure it's going to make you feel very old indeed.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, isn't it, to go and watch the boys and girls, because
the quality is superb.
But they are the stars of the future, of course. We just mentioned a couple of names who obviously took titles there and have gone on to make it through to quarterfinals of Grand Slams. So you definitely will be seeing some absolute quality on display around the grounds today.
Yeah, and speaking of quality, as we said, ladies quarterfinal day today, 4 outstanding matches. I have to say, I'm really excited to see how Ons Jabeur does. I've fallen in love with her a little bit this week. She's such a good character, playing really interesting tennis. I think that's probably the one that I'm going to clear my schedule to watch today. How about you?
I'll go for the Aussies. The Aussie match, I'm going to have to. I think
the atmosphere will be good.
The atmosphere is going to be like nothing else. It would be even better possibly if the Aussies could be here to watch, but I can't wait for that one.
Absolutely. And closing in on 11 o'clock, of course. That means play is due to start on the outside courts, hopefully, fingers crossed. You can follow all of the action if you are here, or if you're not, on the Wimbledon app. You can watch Wimbledon channel, you can listen to the Wimbledon radio. It's very, very good indeed.
And we're back, hopefully, on the roof again tomorrow, because hopefully there is no rain scheduled for Wednesday here at the Championships. But that's it from us, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.